Hi, for today's teardown, a nice vintage American-made military aircraft part. I believe it is an interphone control box for the cargo area of a bigger military aircraft. And it comes with its original connector and a bit of the original wire loom, which I will remove because it is quite in the way. So the proper way to remove these connectors, you unscrew a little bit, you wiggle a little bit, you unscrew a little bit more, you wiggle a little bit more, and so on until it comes off. But this way you do not damage anything. Pretty serious connector here. We will have a better look at it later. So also it comes with its original mounting plate to screw it probably on the cargo area wall in the aircraft. So we just have a box with a call button, normal and aux and volume button. So it seems quite simple, but it is nice inside. Other side here you see the self-locking nuts for the screws of the box. And here is the information for you. US property, interphone control with a model number 27.5 volts DC, interesting voltage, made by Radio Corporation of America, better known RCA. And we have here a stamp with Shelley Air Force Depot, talk probably for a table of contents or inventory, and the date code of November 17, 1954. So it is a really vintage part, mid-50s. Nice black Emerton paint everywhere. Here is the connector for you. About the batching plug, you can see it is made by Canon with two ends, not the camera manufacturer. And very serious aluminium case here with an angle bracket, quite interesting. And you can see it was never opened because there is some kind of a seal here. We have the bit of a wire loom with numbers written on each one of the wire. And interesting to see, there is already one of these electrical thingies here with a plastic insulator for the ground sleeve here. Quite interesting, and the remains of some locking wire, which was probably to lock the ring here. And it is interesting also to note that in the default position, in fact, this part here, this angle thing, is totally in the way and poking out towards the front. Quite weird, because this part did never rotate, so it is in the original position. So you have your box on the aircraft wall and you have your connector poking out, while it should be better to have it like so or like so. Interesting. So about the box itself, we have two thus fasteners on the front that will undo like so. Let me zoom on the second one for you while I undo it, so you can see exactly what is going on. You have to push a little bit, you turn, and it will release with a little spring inside. So if I pull this, first you have the inside of the box. Interestingly enough, you can see the other part of the thus fasteners all at the bottom here, And the 4 screws to mount it to the plate here are Phillips screws. And here natural aluminium finish, no painting, nothing. So about the inside of the box, here is what we have. A shielding can, but here at least we can already start to see the insides. It is written a second time US property. And here on the side we have serial number at least, because it is not written at on the outside box. And we have the remains of a schematic for this one of the 2 parts in the box, because it is in 2 parts. And yes, you can see we have a bunch of resistors, transformers, capacitors and vacuum tubes. So I zoom it really good for you. Okay, so we have this shielding plate, which is just attached with 2 screws. So it is already in an aluminium box, and they add a second layer of shielding, quite interesting. And here is what we have inside. First side, second side. But before we go further, in fact, this is a module you can remove. So I will remove it, and here you can see another ZES fastener. So I will try to keep it on the screen while I undo it. Here we are, so now you can see perfectly how it works. So I undo the 2 other ones. Very nice noise also when you undo them. Here we are. And this part is designed to unplug like so, with these wired connectors, as you can see here. Sorry for the white balance, it is messing the camera with reflections. So first we have this piece, another schematic here. Interphone control, issued January 1952, guys. We have the pinout. We have a relay here, transformer. So I will read it for you. The signals names, we have microphone, and this is the connector probably of the box. We have host cable, it seems. We have speaker, we have talk switch, we have a DC power supply, we have ground and audio common. We have what seems to be 170 volts DC, probably for the vacuum tubes. We have interphone headset online. And here are the 2 other connectors to the amplifier module itself, which are these connectors here. Excuse me, it is too much. So this is the base plate schematic, and on the amplifier module here you surely have the schematic for it. So what do we have in here? We have the rear of the connector with it shrinks on the wires. And it is pretty much weird and moldy, this thing. We have a big hermetic relay here with little schematic for it, made by RCA, and it is a completely shielded relay, as you can see, with glass insulated terminals. A number of them, wire harness here. It is already PVC coated wire, it seems, or some kind of plastic insulation at least. More moldy heat shrink here. Here are the 2 ZES fasteners to attach the box in the case. They go all the way down here. We have on the front 2 resistors here, including one which seems quite burned out. the potentiometer, the switch, the push button with two momentary contacts, as you can see, micro contacts. We have something else here. It must be a capacitor, in fact, because it is written, yes, 40 microfarads with temperature and voltage ratings. But it is a very weird shape of capacitor because we have a case here on one glass sealed terminal here. And do you notice anything obvious? Nothing is connected to this terminal. So there is the remains of a wire with solder, so probably it was modified at some point, but and I cannot see any loose wire in here. Interesting. The yes, the relay we did already see, and this must be one transformer. Yes, primary, secondary, they give ohms value, interestingly enough. And again in a shielded case with glass insulation. Really nicely made. You can see the captive nuts here, probably crimped into the metal. Here also rubber grommet here, very hard rubber, even it is rock hard, amazing. And here you have a better view at the ZAS fastener. Here is what it looks like with a spring and this little clamp here to keep it in place. The two connectors are made here by Amphenol with golden contacts. So now the next part, the amplifier module. We have two more shielded transformers. This one is bigger even. We have two vacuum tubes here which are socketed and mounted on this kind of shock absorber thing, as you can see. So it can probably be quite efficient. The wires go directly into the sockets with these rubber holders, and here also the rubber is rock hard. The tubes are Sylvania and the military numbers 5899, it is written at least 3 times. Sylvania also, this one, but this one seems quite sad, in fact. This one seems newer, I believe this one was replaced at some point. Here we have two more vacuum tubes, but interestingly enough, these ones are not mounted at all onto shock absorbers, and they are not socketed also. So why you should do that? You can see they are hardwired to this plate here. Both of them, because replacing one of these tubes is very quick and easy. It is just a matter of pulling it. I will not do it because I know the pins are very delicate in here, so I do not want to damage them, but you can unplug them. But here you need to unsolder everything. So you have the little point-to-point board with mostly resistors, Sprague capacitors, some kind of a very old electrolytic capacitor with a General Electric logo here. And this sad thing seems to be probably an early tantalum capacitor, I believe. But you can see it is in a really inside condition. On the other side of the connectors, of course, serial number here. And some stamp with something, maybe an eagle or something like this. And another one here, so it seems they did miss the first stamping attempt and I try another time. Also there is clear cut on the serial number stamp to keep it protected. So the schematic here, it is in fact an aluminium sheet of aluminium glued. Parts of the tube numbers on the number 5718 for this one. The thus fasteners receptacles here. You can see very well how they are made. And in fact it is all. So really a nice device. I got it on the French eBay, oddly enough, a few years ago, and if I remember correctly, it was very cheap, poorly described with a blurry photo. So it was like €5 or something like this. Very bad photo, and maybe also in the bad category, not in a very machine category. So when you have the time to browse eBay and deeply and check everything in a given category, sometimes you can get very good deals. And really I was in fact, as I had no internal photo, I was not expecting to have so much stuff inside, because when you see a box with a connector and buttons, you do not know if it is just wires inside or if it is very actually some electronics. So this time I did win, other times I did lose, of course, but I am quite happy with this one. Really a cute vintage device in a very decent condition given it's how old it is. Okay, so I will finish putting it back together like this, and like no, this maybe. Okay, here we are. So thanks for watching, bye bye.